Hi students, I hope you are doing well. In my last video lecture, I explained regarding generations of computers. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. That is our first topic as for SPT syllabus. In this video lecture, I am going to talk about stored program concept and Van Neumann architecture. So, this is the structure all over the world, all over the computer companies, designing companies following. So we'll see what is the storage programming concept. At the same time, what is the Van Neumann architecture. We'll see clearly. This is the content of the lecture. Understand the origin of Neumann architecture, the first one. Understand Van Neumann architecture, origin. Understand its components and functionalities, and to be aware of other architectures. And finally, reference. So here, along with the Van Neumann architecture, we are going to see one more architecture and an example. What is storing program concept? All of you know about what is the meaning of store. Store is nothing but store something. What is the store program concept? Here simple. Store program concept is storage of instructions in a computer memory. So storage of instructions in a computer memory to enable it to perform a variety of tasks in a sequence or intermittently. So storing programming concept means to store the instructions in a memory for what? To enable it to perform a variety of tasks. So computer will perform different types of tasks. For example, if you want to listen music, you can do it. If you want to watch the video, you can do it. If you want to send the mail, you can do it. So computer will do multiple tasks. This multiple task will perform based on instructions. This instruction will store in a memory. That is the actual meaning of stored program concept means. So we will see this concept developed by Van Neumann. So who is the Van Neumann? Is a scientist. So Hungarian scientist. We are going to see about him in detailed manner in my forthcoming slides. So just look at here. The idea was introduced in the late 1940s by Jan Weimann, who proposed that a program be electronically stored in a binary number in a memory device so that instructions could be modified by the computer as determined by the intermediate computational results. So what it says, so Van Neumann architecture tells about, the idea talks about an instructions should be stored in a memory. So that instructions should go along with data and it will do the multiple tasks. That means what? The data instructions go together and the works will perform based on instructions. This instruction will be stored in a memory. I will tell you one thing. How can you understand this one? Just take your body anatomy. Your heart is there. In your heart, it cleans your blood and again circulates your blood. It's pumping and taking. It will pump and it will take. So it will perform its tasks automatically. You are not doing anything. It may be your kidneys or it may be your liver, it may be your heart. They are doing their works automatically. They are taking instruction from the brain. They are doing their functionality without your knowledge. The same manner, the same idea used by the Van Neumann. So instructions should be there along with the data. The task will be performed automatically. The multitask will perform automatically. The same concept using here. How your body function, how your organs are working without your knowledge. The same manner, the computer also will perform the multiple tasks without getting of any instruction from you, but all instructions are stored inside of a memory. Nearly 120 instructions. Every computer in memory, nearly 80 to 120 instructions are default instructions are stored in every computer. This structure developed by Van Neumann. This is actual meaning of stored program concept. Next we will see the fixed program. So computer is not a fixed program. It is a multitasking machine. If you take the calculator as a one machine, it is a fixed program machine. So you unable to perform multiple tasks here. It works for only mathematical way. It works for, it may be adding or subtraction, division, multiplications, percentage. So this type of mathematical calculations it can do, but apart from this, it will not do any work. For example, gaming, for example, video, for example, listening audio. You can't do using of the calculator. That's why it's called as a fixed programming machine. Calculator is a fixed programming machine, but computer is not like that. It's stored programs. So multiple instructions are stored here and it will perform the multiple tasks. So computer is a multiple instruction storage box and it will perform the multiple tasks. So let's see about the Van Neumann, what he is saying and what is his idea. A stored program computer is one that stores program instructions in electronic memory. So the instructions stored in a electronic memory, therefore easily reprogrammable. So Van Neumann is a stored program architecture, also known as Princeton architecture, introduced by John Neumann, a Hungarian-American mathematician, a physicist and computer scientist. So this idea implemented by Van Neumann in 1940. So Van Neumann architecture's design model for storage program digital computer. What it talks about? It talks about data and instructions all together. What this architecture talks about data at the same time instructions all together where in a memory. We store the data in a memory, at the same time we will store the instructions in memory and both will work together based on the task. This says about this architecture. This is a diagram of Van Neumann architecture. Look at here. This is a diagram of Van Neumann architecture. Here input device one side, output device one side. In between central processing unit. In this central processing unit, it contains 3 parts. That is called control unit, arithmetic logic unit and registers. So we will see in computer organization architecture, what is a control unit, what is the arithmetic logic unit, what are the register, what is the memory unit. We will see each and every component in detailed manner in our forthcoming lectures. But time being, now we are going to discuss about only structure of the Van Neumann architecture. This architecture talks about the data and instructions all together in a memory. Look at here, the central processing unit. This is under of this diagram. The special box is there. This is a memory unit. In this memory unit, 2 parts are there. What are that? First one is the instruction. Second one is the data. The both are held together in a memory unit. Now, what are the operations it may be? It will controlled by the central processing unit. Now, based on your requirement, based on your task, the data and instructions go together to do the work. This is actually says about Van Neumann. So next one, look at here, one more diagram for understanding Van Neumann architecture. So both diagrams are good, both are right, but here a big diagram is given to understand this concept a little bit clearly. Look at in top one box is given. This box talks about memory holding data and instruction. Don't think that program is nothing but set of instruction. So data and program means data and set of instructions hold together in a memory. Now let's see a control unit, arithmetic logic unit, and input output. This entire part a central processing unit. Now what are the processor going to do the task? Every data and every instructions comes from memory, and it will use the output based on data and instructions. This is the thing what we are going to discuss. And in this Van Neumann architecture, it has three basic components. So first one is the I/O interface, and second one is the central processing unit, and third one is the memory, what we had seen now. So I/O interface, that is called input output. So there is a communication between input and then we will get the output to the output devices. This process is called I/O interfaces. Next one is the central processing unit. I already said central processing unit, CPU, it contains the three parts. First one is the control logic, arithmetic logic unit, and these components inside of the central processing unit. And last one is the memory. These three components would be there in this architecture. What is the functionality of the I/O interface, especially in this architecture? So functionality of I/O interface. So I/O interface means what? Just taking the input and giving the output. Please try to understand. Input output. The name itself talks about the functionality. Input, it will take the input from you. Output, it gives the output what you required, what you want. So here I/O interface allow the computer's memory to receive the information and send data to output device. Simple. It receives the information and send data to the output device. Allow the computer to communicate to the user and to secondary storage device like disk and tape drives. So at the same time, it allow the computer to communicate to the user. User means what? Any person, that person who are using the computer called a user. You are also user. I am also user. Anyone can be a user. Those who are using the computer called a user. Now it will take the information from you, okay, and it will connect with the secondary storage device like a disk and tape drives. These are called communication. This is called all the communication. So this every part will done by I/O interface. This is the functionality of interface. Just having of the communication one part to another part internally, at the same time taking the information from the input and giving the output, send that input to the output device. This is a part of work of I/O interface. Next we will see second part, central processing unit. So I hope that you already studied about central processing unit in our first year. I think so, because it is you have the basic computers. You may study about each and every part in detailed manner. Central processing unit is a very important component in the computer. So that's why you may have some idea about central processing unit. So here central processing unit, I already said it is three parts. First one is the control unit, second one is the arithmetic logic unit, and third one is the registers. It is a combination of three components. Responsible for control unit is responsible for control unit is decoding the instructions. So now in CPU, I am going to talk about only control unit. Control unit is one part of a CPU. The responsibility of the control unit decoding the instructions and control how data moves around the computer system. So it controls the data at the same time it decoding the instructions. This part will be done by the control unit. The execution of each instruction is determined by a sequence of control signals produced by the control unit. The second thing is execution of each instruction is determined by sequence of control signals produced by the control unit. It executes the instructions at the same time a sequence of control signals produced by the control unit. It produces the control signals. We will study about what is the control signal, how they are generating, who are controlling, what is their function in detailed manner in our forthcoming lectures. So now we are talking about the memory. So memory, here memory width is given, address width is given, address space is given. So this is the address of a particular data, or it is the address of the particular instructions. So try to understand here, in a computer, if you want to store any data, if you want to store any instruction, it needs a space. The space is nothing but a memory. Without having a space, a memory, we can't store any instruction or any data in a computer. So here memory width. So it is 1 byte equal to 8 bits. So we are going to see a byte, a bit, gigabit and terabit, everything in a detailed manner in our forthcoming lectures. Let's see. It is a memory width. It contains 8 bits or 1 byte. Next one is the address width. How many bits used to represent each address? Address is nothing but for storing of the address, how many bits are used? How many bits are used? That is called address width. Finally, address space. A number of uniquely identified memory locations 2 power n. So this is about memory, and we are going to study about memory in our forthcoming lectures. What is the memory, types of memory, what is the RAM, what is the ROM, and what is the secondary memory, primary memories, and this type of kinds of memories we are going to see in a detailed manner. So don't worry about that. Now I am going to talk about advantages of Van Neumann architecture. Why we are using this architecture predominantly used by all the computer designers all over the world. So is prevalent, it is a prevail over the all architectures. That means what? It become very famous and popular here and there in entire the world. So all computer designs, all the computer manufacturers are following Van Neumann architecture because it has so many advantages. We will see. So control units gets data and instructions in the same way from one memory. It simplifies design and development of the control unit. That is the first advantage. That means what? Same place it will get the instruction, at the same time data. And data from memory and from device are accessed in the same way. That means what? The same way they are using devices to sending of the data and sending of the instructions. The memory organizes in the hands of programmers. The second thing is, what is the advantage of the Van Neumann architecture is the memory organization. The memory organization in the hands of programmers. Memory organization is what? So for example, if you want to store any video or any audio, you can store it in secondary memory, or you can store any your particular drive or a particular folder and particular space you can store wherever you want. So that memory organization in the hands of the programmers. That is the advantage of Van Neumann architecture. And at the same time, it has disadvantages also. We will see. Serial instructions processing does not allow parallel execution of program. Parallel executions are simulated later by the operating system. It means what? Serial instruction processing does not allow parallel execution. It tells when you are going to give the instructions or do the some work, it takes the serial instructions, that means step by step in a sequence order. It will not take the instructions at the same time, that means parallelly. That is the drawback here. One more thing is, one bus is a bottleneck. Only one information can be accessed at the same time. So here, one bus inside of the computer, multiple buses are there. So here, one bus is a bottleneck. So that means what? And at the same time, if you use the multiple buses, at the same time there is a problem. That is the disadvantage. And third disadvantage, instructions stored in the same memory, as the data can be accidentally rewritten by error in a program. It means what? The instruction and memory and data, as the data and instruction should be there in same place. If you are unable to get the data and instruction at the same memory, and it will show the error. That is the disadvantage in Van Neumann architecture. So I want to show one more architecture. This is not that much familiar, but for example, I want to show here Harvard architecture. Harvard architecture also we are using in computers, but not that much popular like Van Neumann architecture. So here, this is the another example of the architecture, computer architecture, Harvard architecture. Here, memory for data was separated from the memory for instruction. So in previous Van Neumann architecture, memory, inside of the memory, instruction, at the same time, data would be there in the same place. But in Harvard architecture, instruction will be there another place, data will be there another place. Now both are come together for the work. So it is not like a Van Neumann architecture. So this is about Harvard architecture. So my dear students, I am giving references also. Please try to understand. Van Neumann architecture is a very, very important question. Multiple times it asked by the SBT. So this question will come damn surely. To understanding of the Van Neumann architecture, very, very important. It's a very, very important concept. Please try to understand in a clear manner. If you have any doubt, we'll have an online class. We will discuss regarding of this concept again. I hope to understand very well. Thank you. Thank you so much.